Russia's president has capped off his trip to Asia with promises of investment in the region and a vow to enhance security ties with two strategic partners, Vietnam and North Korea. After riling Western nations with a mutual cooperation agreement with Kim Jong Un in Pyongyang, Vladimir Putin then tapped Russia's historic ties with Vietnam in an effort to, as some say, offset isolation over the war in Ukraine.
An embrace befitting their country's historic ties, President Vladimir Putin received a warm greeting from newly minted President Tolam at the presidential palace in Hanoi. The Russian leader treated to a grand military welcome, including a 21-gun salute in the palace courtyard. But pomp and pageantry aside, the visit also yielded agreements of practical measure. Two sides signing accords on furthering cooperation in trade, energy and security. Vietnam's president expressed his desire to boost ties for regional and global peace and lauded Hanoi's comprehensive strategic partnership with Moscow.
Việt Nam nhất quán coi Liên bang Nga là một trong những đối tác quan trọng hàng đầu, mong muốn cùng Nga phát triển mối quan hệ hữu nghị truyền thống lâu đời và hợp tác tốt đẹp giữa các thế hệ lãnh đạo và nhân dân hai nước.
While Mr. Putin commended Vietnam's active role in dialogue with ASEAN and discussed contributing to the security environment in the region.
При обсуждении ситуации в Азиатско-Тихоокеанском регионе была высказана обоюдная заинтересованность в построении ВТР надежной и адекватной архитектуры безопасности на принципах неприменения силы и мирного урегулирования споров, в которой не будет места закрытым военно-политическим блокам.
Analysts suggest reviving weapons exports to Hanoi was also high on the agenda as Moscow seeks funds to keep up its battle in Ukraine. Vietnam remains one of the few nations that has not condemned Russia's invasion. The country is the final stop of President Putin's two-nation tour of Asia. He wrapped up a meeting with North Korean leader Kim Jong Un in Pyongyang a day earlier, which saw both sides signing a mutual defense pact. The rare visits have drawn the ire of the United States, which has accused the countries of giving Russia a platform to promote its war in Ukraine.
And for more, Dasha Chernyshova joins us live from Moscow. Dasha, what would President Putin gain from this visit to Vietnam?
Well, certainly the understanding is that Moscow wanted more trade with Vietnam. It wanted closer cooperation with Vietnam on a number of issues. And Moscow does seem to have achieved that. As we are hearing from the final statement, the two sides have expressed their desire to further develop cooperation in the energy sphere as well as in the area of production, of output, of IT. And they do see a lot in cooperating in the technological area. The Russian president also noted that the Russian companies are interested in investing more into the LNG and gas LNG projects in Vietnam. And Vladimir Putin also noted that the two countries have now embarked on increasing the number of settlements that is made in the national currency, something which is of high importance for Russia, which has been cut off from the SWIFT payment system. And also the understanding is that two sides will be working on bringing more Vietnamese students to Russia, something which is also an expression of Russia's soft power, because these will be highly trained specialists that will be going back to Vietnam. On the Vietnamese part, we've heard the president of the country, Tolam, saying that the two countries will also be increasing their cooperation in the area of security and defense, with Russia becoming one of the priorities of Vietnamese foreign policies. And the two countries have also vowed not to sign any military treaties that could be actually decreasing the sovereignty and independence of either of these states.
So if Mr. Putin is in Vietnam to offset, as we mentioned earlier, the isolation that he faces because of that war in Ukraine, do these deals on trade and security and energy do much to, I suppose, minimize or decrease that sense of isolation?
Absolutely. The Russian president has been invited to Vietnam, and now he invited the Vietnamese leadership to travel to Russia. This invitation has been accepted. So in terms of showing that Russia is not isolated, this visit is very important. But also keep in mind that Vietnam is the sphere of interest for other international powers. The US president traveled to Vietnam recently. The Chinese president has also paid a visit. So the visit by Russian president is also part of Russia's geopolitical agenda. Russia is saying that it is trying to create the multipolar world order, and it is already in the making. So this visit is only going to prove that this is actually taking place.
All right, thank you for that. Dasha Chernyshova reporting live to us there from Moscow.